Hey guys, Sata3 here. Today I'm going to upgrade the SSD and Mac memory of my MacBook Pro. This version of MacBook is from year 2012. I bought the SSD Samsung 850 Pro and the Mac RAM memory and the SSD connector on Amazon. Samsung SSD is one of the best in the market. It has the most speed for write and read, and it should boost up the speed of my MacBook. Okay. And I bought this Mac memory from Amazon. It was specially made for Apple computers. Okay, right now I'm going to set up the SSD in order to be able to install the Mac OS on it. Choose initialize, then select your SSD. Then you have to erase the SSD. Do not forget to choose the format Mac OS Extended Journal. Give it a name. Then erase. Since the SSD is new, it should not take much time. I choose to not use it as a time machine backup. So it's done. The next step that I'm going to do is remove the old RAM memory, which was 8, and upgrade it to 16. The one that I bought are 8 each. Okay, right now I'm going to remove all the screws in order to get access to the Mac memory, the RAM memory. Okay, it's done. Then you see the RAM memory there. You should remove the battery cable and then push on each side of the RAM memory and pull on it at an angle of 45 degrees. We do the same thing for the second memory. Okay, right now I'm going to install the new RAM memory, which should boost up the speed of my MacBook. Install the new RAM memory in the same order that you took off the old one. Put the memory at an angle of 45 degrees and push on it, and you should be done. Do not forget to put back the battery cable. Okay, right now I'm going to install the Mac OS on the new SSD, and I'm going to show you how I did it. I also was able to take everything from my old SSD into my new SSD. Okay, connect the the new SSD into your Mac. Select reinstall Mac OS. Accept all these. choose the SSD that you want to install the Mac OS on it. And this should take some time, so I speed up the video here and I cut some part to make it faster. Okay, once it's done, you should be familiar with the setup process. Choose migration from old SSD and accept all the terms. And this one should take a bit longer than the last one. Okay, once you have migrated all your files from the old SSD, you can remove the cover of your Mac and install the new SSD. You have to remove those two screws that holds the SSD in place. You do not really need to remove those two. And it should be easy to get access to the old SSD. Once you have it, you just pull. Be careful not to break the SSD connector. There are 4 screws that hold the SSD in place, so you have to remove those from the old SSD and install them into the new SSD. Those 4 screws are pentalobes. I don't know the size of it. If you have a toolbox, you should have one that can remove those screws and install them into the new SSD. Once you're done, you just have to connect the new SSD and put it in place. Do not forget to add the SSD holder. After that, you should be done. I'm going to start the MacBook and time it and see if the MacBook boot time has decreased. Okay, let's go. The old SSD was timed like 45 seconds. The MacBook will boot up with the old SSD about 45 seconds. So with the new SSD, it took only 33 seconds. And you can see the new SSD. Let's time it again. There is a real difference in speed since the old SSD was about 45 seconds and this one about 26 seconds. Let's do it again. Let's go. Okay, this time it took about 50 seconds. Okay, let's try to see how the new SSD performs on disk speed test.